So, hello everyone. What you are watching is you are watching Musings with Amit. This is a live session where I interview some interesting people. Okay, and look, if you want to know what is experiential learning, then you are in the right place because today I'm going to talk a lot about experiential learning, and I have two founders of Creodo who are going to explain what is this experiential learning and how Creodo is helping software engineers with this. Okay, a few years back, Mr. Narayan Murthy, the most celebrated CEO of Infosys, and also also one of the best thought leaders in India. He had mentioned that 80% to 85% software engineers don't have the right kind of education to start in a job immediately. Okay, a similar thing was mentioned, and I was really upset with that statement, but that is a true statement. And then a similar thing was mentioned by Mr. Parekh, who is the chairman of HDFC Bank, about software engineers. And later on, Ginni Rometty, the chief of IBM, she mentioned the same thing about Indian engineers. Okay, so today what we are going to see is today we are going to understand how this experiential learning can help us in this scenario where 80 to 85% of engineers are not ready for their job. Okay, so if you're connected with the software engineering engineers at any level, software industry at any level, or pursuing to become a software engineer, then this video is for you. And this Musing by Amit live session is for you. So today I'm inviting two young, dynamic, prolific engineers, Mr. Rathina Murthy and Sridhar Jayachandran. They are the founders of a startup called Creodo. Okay, and what does Creodo do? Creodo is building an experiential learning platform for freshers and existing engineers who want to use technology, who want to learn technology and start working in a software industry. Okay, they are creating this high quality experiential learning opportunity that will help software engineers to easily find jobs and show that they have some ability, they have some potential to work in a job. First, I will call upon Mr. Rathina Murthy. Rathina Murthy is an engineer from PSG College of Engineering, Coimbatore. And since becoming an engineer, he has worked in various companies as a product manager. His most celebrated job is at Flipkart, where he learned the ropes of entrepreneurship, and he's also a postgraduate um, in program management from SPGN Institute of Management and Research. Welcome, Rathina. How are you?
Hey, thanks, Amit. Thanks for having me here. It's great to be with among your audience today.
Yes.
Look forward to our chat. Hope it will be useful for some of your audience.
Sure, certainly. Okay, and let me call upon Sridhar Jayachandran, again an engineer from PSG College of Technology, Coimbatore, who's worked 1 year out here in India, and then he moved to US to pursue his master's in computer science from University of Southern California, or USC, and he's worked for various companies, but his most celebrated job was at Google as a software engineer and as a product manager, where he is working on various Google social products. Okay, welcome Sridhar, welcome to the chat.
Thanks, Amit. Thanks for having us here. Looking forward to the conversation.
Okay, so let us begin with the interview. Rathina, before I ask any other question,
Sure.
Can you tell me what is experiential learning? What do you mean by experiential learning?
Yeah, great. So let's understand that, right? So I think it'll be simple to understand this with the very day-to-day analogy, right? Let's take an analogy of you learning to drive a car. Okay, how does it happen? Right? You basically understand some very basic stuff, right? What is steering wheel? What is brake? What is gear? And you start experience the driving with some guidance, someone sitting next to you,
Yeah.
right? and then you go on for a drive, you come back, you reflect on what's working, what is not working, right? In your mind, you start conceptualizing certain key learnings, certain key do's and don'ts, right? The next
Right.
day again you go for a drive, right? So this cycle continues till you become comfortable, right? So this entire process of experience first, then reflect, then conceptualize key learnings,
Okay.
then apply them in a real situation, right? That's in a simplistic term. That's what we call as experiential learning,
Okay.
right? Let's come to the software.
Yeah.
Let's come to
How does
software.
this apply to softwares? How does
Yeah.
it apply to software?
Yeah, right. Let's say if you talk to any good engineer out there, right? Any successful software engineers out there, and ask them, uh, what is your best instance of learning?
Right.
When did you learn maximum, right? Most often the answer would be, I did some internship, I did some project in some company, my first project was this, right? And people talk about this, and that's where they learned a lot, right? This is not by coincidence, right? If you just think about what happens when you actually learn at work, you are thrown into a problem, right? And you start experiencing what's happening around, right? And then we start learning what is required to solve that problem.
Correct.
In that process, we start conceptualizing the key learnings. The learning you get in this manner, right, is a very, very different level, right? It is nothing compared to any theoretical learning you have by like watching videos or like reading to books, anything, right? So,
Right.
so I think our thought process was the work cannot be the only place where you learn. Right? Today, unfortunately, most of us end up learning at first job or like subsequent jobs. Right? So the
Yes.
work can't be the only place where you can learn. Right?
Correct.
Work is the place where you're supposed to demonstrate, where you should have already skill set, real skill set already available with you. Right?
Right. Right.
I think uh, I think our thought process is how can we provide an experience of working in a company, experience of solving real problems for people in a democratized way.
Okay. Okay.
I think that's exactly what we solve by experiential learning. We provide work-like experiences, work-like learning opportunities for people online.
Okay, so if I'm a software engineer, if I come to Creado, then I can learn while actually making a project or doing some kind of a project, and you'll provide all the guidance that is required,
Yeah.
so that when I apply for a job, I can show that this is what I know of, whatever I know Python, or I know C++, or I know C Sharp, but I've actually done a project in these technologies, and here is the project. And
Yeah.
when I go to the job, from first day I'm productive. That's what.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Right. For example, if you just take a simple example of how people learn back-end engineering in our platform, right?
Correct.
For an engineer who wants to learn Java, Spring Boot, microservices, how to deploy certain services in a cloud, right? We actually give you a project where actually you develop something like a Swiggy backend or a Uber Eats backend, right?
Correct. Correct.
Where you work on real technologies. We actually split the problem into multiple smaller chunks, right? And we'll help you solve step by step. But by end of it, you would have learned how to build a distributed system backend in this manner, right?
Okay.
So it is not a theoretical exercise. We'll say you learn distributed system backend for 2 months, right?
Right.
Say you will build a Swiggy or Uber Eats backend, right?
Right.
We will guide you with a proper project plan, right? With proper deadlines, with proper guidance, where by end of it, you would have actually built the product. You will also pick up necessary tech stack, necessary tools, skill set required for you to build something like that. Right? That's the whole idea.
Okay. So it's good that this is how it is working. So coming to you, Sridhar, a lot of software engineers visit this channel. They have one question: you get a how to get a job in Google? Okay, because you worked in Google, and what was the process? How many interviews did you have to get into Google?
Sure. So, Amit, on that, there are two parts to it. I think when we are talking about somebody getting into Google, there's like one is discovery of your profile, right? Like, so first of all, you have to get the call from them to actually interview, right? And the second part is you actually cracking the interview process itself.
Right.
And this process, I actually worked in US for more time, and there the process is slightly different. So I'll just help everybody understand the difference between them as well, right? In US, the discovery process is slightly easier, primarily because of the number of engineers over there is not as many as in India. So
Correct.
getting that discovery, if you have done your masters or something in a reasonable university, you have reasonable work profile, the discovery is slightly more easier. So which means that more number of students or like working professionals will actually get to at least have a phone screen with FANG companies, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Google,
Yeah.
Netflix, right? So if we were to consider India, but the process beyond that is actually pretty much the same. If you were to consider India, it's slightly different. Discovery is slightly more harder, right? There, your college comes into picture just because of the number of engineers, right? They can't interview
Right.
every single person,
Right.
so they have to have some proxies, right? That's the end of the
Correct.
day how it
Yes.
works. And there, they look at your maybe college or the projects that you have done. Maybe you have a lot of projects on GitHub, or maybe you have participated in a lot of hackathons where Google kind of
Correct.
sees you, right? So it's either based on your college plus certain criteria, or based on what you have on your resume and your kind of profile that which could be bumped up through various other means, right? So that's the discovery part. So if you haven't been able to get into a good college, you can always do the later, right? Work hard on your
Okay.
profile, make sure that you do a lot of projects, contribute to maybe open source, participate in GSOC, do whatever is possible to actually cover that gap, right? So that you become
Okay.
discoverable. Now, coming to the second point, in terms of the interview rounds, right? It's usually, I would say, anywhere between 4 to 5 rounds, including the phone
Okay.
screen, right?
Okay.
And more than that, more or less, depends on how you do the round, right? Sometimes it's a slam dunk. Sometimes you might have to have more rounds as well. But this is like roughly the number. And out of which, sorry, go ahead, Amit. You had a question?
So are these all interviews very technical, or are they technical also, and there are some interviews which are different, like
It's purely technical. There's
purely
nothing else
technical?
that gets
Okay.
judged. Yeah. So I'll just share the framework as well, based on which people get judged. But it's usually a conversation, right? So the first, like at least like say 2 to 3 rounds, they're definitely going to check for coding. How good a person is in terms of coding. Again, nothing too fancy over there. Given a problem statement, are they able to solve it in a meaningful way? Here, the kind of basic algorithms, basic data structures, all of those come into picture. One thing that I'd like to let people know is like it's not necessarily competitive coding, right? They are slightly different in nature. This is like there are things that you can do just to get really good at interview, but not so good at competitive coding. Right?
Correct.
So they're slightly different. And this is kind of in terms of the PSDS, right? Lead code. There are lots of websites that help you practice that. And then the next part is depending on your level of seniority or the kind of things that you have put on your resume, there is a chance that they might actually ask you to do a design round,
Okay.
right? For the more senior you go, the more they're going to dive onto the design as well. This is primarily based on what you have done as well, a bit into the experience, how you think about basic concepts like oops, how are you able to apply, how do you model given an abstract problem, how are you able to think through certain things and then come up with certain set of steps post that. So it kind of lets them judge both your analytical skill set as well as your technical skill set, right?
Okay. Okay.
So these are the two kinds of rounds, and other than that, they look at culture fit, etc. But that just like usually comes out if you're spending 4 hours with different interviewers. Usually, you can definitely find out whether the person will fit into the company, right? Not having the kind of inclination to learn, being too stubborn or too weak, all of them will have different impacts on the interview. But at least in terms
Okay.
of what they look for, these
Okay.
are the two things.
So one more thing. So Ratina, you are working with Flipkart, okay,
Yep.
and looking at your profile, I'm sure you were doing really well out there. Oh,
Mhm.
so why did you quit your job to start this Kriadu? What inspired you? What happened?
Sure. So I joined Flipkart pretty early on in 2011.
Yeah.
Right. We were a small company. I was one of the early members in the product team. Right. I think going through the journey, right? Going through the journey of Flipkart from 2011 to 18, right? It was kind of a roller coaster, right? So we could not ask for anything better in terms of challenges, opportunities for us to learn and perform. And Flipkart is specifically a culture in which they actually give a lot of ownership and empowerment to individuals, right? I think going through the journey actually gave a lot of confidence, and it also gave a lot of kick of creating impact, right? I think you're able to build something from scratch and you're able to see it in action. People are using it, right? that sense of satisfaction was like very, very good, right? So that journey kind of gave me a confidence, also motivation to think about my own entrepreneurial journey, as well as thinking about inspiration to create larger impact, right? I think I would say that's kind of the first thing, right, which kind of drove me to think in this direction, right? Other thing, I think being part of Flipkart in even the previous organizations, right, one thing which kind of realized is one is to have a vision, right? So, for example, Sachin and Vinny, in fact, taught the entire generation to think big, right, and then dream big, right?
Right.
The other thing which they have done great is also assemble a great team.
Okay.
Right? I think one thing which kind of I realized was, end of the day, having a great vision is very critical, right? But at the same time, if you don't have a right set of people, right talent, right, you won't be able to move in the right direction, right?
Right.
I think Flipkart journey also gave me a very, very first-hand understanding of what could a great talent do, right, to a company, right?
Correct. Correct.
And talking about talent, right? So I think myself and Sridhar were like, yeah, we were undergrad classmates. We are also connected friends, right? And one thing which both of us are passionate about, we're doing out of our work is also a lot of mentoring, right? Talking to a lot of young engineers, talking to them, helping them with their career choices and all of that, right? So when we thought about talent, when we thought about doing something on our own, right? I think doing something in education, doing something where we can actually help nurture talent was kind of a natural choice for kind of both of us, right? So, and Sridhar was back in India. We were talking about it. We were talking about doing something together, looking for opportunities, right? Yeah, I think that's kind of a natural choice for me, right? So,
did you have any previous experience of nurturing talent, like within Flipkart, or maybe on your own? Maybe you were helping students or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think in Flipkart, yeah, I think we get to interact with a lot of engineers, we get to interview them, get to build teams, right? That's one kind of experience, right? And apart from that, we're also part of certain NGOs where we used to do some mentoring, right? Meet students in engineering colleges, right? Talking about career guidance, right? So I was also involved in some kind of the mentoring, right? Even in personal circles, even outside of that, right? I think I would say that's kind of an exposure we had, right, so, on what's happening on the ground.
Okay. So Sridhar, so you were working at Google in San Francisco Bay Area, right? It's one of the places where no software engineer wants to come back to India. So how did this happen? Like why did you choose to come back from US to India, and then how did your journey happen with Creado? Like what was your thinking behind joining Creado?
So when I came back for personal reasons, my family is over here, came back for that.
Okay.
Actually, in fact, I continued working from Google from India, Bangalore office for about a year as well. After that, like, I mean, one thing is like, I was just like following Indian ecosystem. I used to have a lot of discussions with friends over here as to how things are evolving. A lot of new companies. The startup ecosystem itself started kind of going crazy around that time, 2014, 15 types. And after I moved here, it was kind of like seemed like there is too many opportunities just like lying out there, untapped. And at the point, started striking. Okay, we wanted to do something of our own at some point in time. We have that kind of an inclination, and if not now, when types, right? Like you've been there in industry for some time, you've picked up the necessary skill sets. Like unless you venture out into the entrepreneurial journey, things are not going to happen automatically, right?
Right.
So that's when had a lot of thought process. Okay, hey, said okay, this is the right time to start, and looking evaluating few different things. And Ratna and myself, we have had like several conversations around that time. Okay, what is the problem that we want to tackle, right? Problem, there are like different angles to it. Okay, should impact, like definitely it should have great impact compared to what we do currently at our work. And does it give us a satisfaction as well, right? Like there were few different factors that we were considering. And in fact, we did evaluate few more ideas as well. Just like not the first idea that comes to mind as well, right? And then one of the things as Ratna mentioned was we usually like mentoring people generally. That's something that we have done over the period of time. Like for example, somebody joins masters in US, there are like lots of intricacies around visa rules there, right?
Correct.
How to be on H1, F1, There are like a lot of intricacies, and unless somebody guides you, even like a 5-minute guidance from somebody actually can change things. Okay, in fact, I actually received one such suggestion from somebody I know at work, which definitely changed my wife's career.
Correct.
Very, very small tip, right? So we used to do this a lot ourselves there. Okay, hey, somebody comes for MS. How do I get a job? How should I start applying for internship? How do I get H1B, right? And same thing for engineering to product management. How should I transition, right? Having done that kind of stuff, this seemed very natural. This idea and like what we wanted to do to the Indian ecosystem. And in terms of the problem statement, right? Very, very clear in terms of skill set, where our engineers are, but like where they can be, right? In terms of monetary benefits, career benefits, it's actually very, very vast difference can be made there, right? So it became a natural choice to actually start career there.
Okay. So one more thing I wanted to know, like Sridhar, in Criado, what is your role as what do you actually look after within Criado at this moment?
Sure. So we have a few more core team out who actually pretty much own various verticals within the org. But roughly, broadly speaking, I would say a lot of external things. Ratina takes care of business and stuff related to that. And I like mostly spend time on internal stuff, product range kind of stuff. So that's how roughly there. And we have like few more people who are like very, very capable. They're kind of like replacement for founders, I would say. They're actually taking care of specific verticals within the company.
Sure. So Ratina, when did you actually start Criado? And how many software engineers have you benefited so far? Like how many people have come into your platform and what has happened with their journey? But when did you actually start Criado?
Sure. Yeah, so we've started officially 2018 May, right? It's been slightly more than 2 years now, right? When we started, I think first 6 months or so, we're a very small team of 2 of us and one engineer, right? Nurullah, right? So 3 of us, very small team till 6 months or so. We want to get more conviction on our idea and what we're doing, right? We did some initial experiments, tried out the real customers, right? So first 6 months was slightly very conservative journey, trying to figure out things, right? And once we got more conviction about what we are trying to build, what it could do, right? Then we started thinking about building the team and roping in right kind of investors, right? And we are fortunate to get a backing of people like Binny Bansal from Flipkart and some of the tech leaders from the ecosystem like Udan co-founders, Mekin Mageshwari, who runs Udayam Education Foundation, Ravi Garikipadi, who is a ex-CTO at Flipkart. We're fortunate to get the backing of some of the tech leaders in the ecosystem, right? And once we raised our seed money and we started building the team, right? I think that's when we started really investing in building the product and thinking about what is the right channel for us to take it to market, right? I think from then till now, we have worked with a lot of enterprises like Flipkart, Visa, Rakuten, Geo, Capillary, right? A lot of these companies used our product for like kind of training their engineers who they already hired, right? Mostly for onboarding or some reskilling programs. And apart from that, we also have a direct to developers offering, right? Where we have touched more than 10,000 engineers, right? In terms of learning, right? And we have hundreds of success stories where people have gone ahead and like improved their career prospects in terms of getting into better opportunities, improving their earning potential, getting better quality of work, right, and getting a great first job, right. We have had great success stories, more than hundreds of such stories among these engineers, right. So that's kind of the journey so far. Yeah.
So you mentioned that Mr. Bansal is an investor in your company. So I just wanted to ask. This question is off the charts. Are they both brothers? Are the two people both brothers, the Bansal brothers, or they are not brothers?
Actually, yeah, the Binny Bansal is an investor with us, right?
Okay.
Sachin and Binny are not related. I think you would have seen a lot of news article which says Sachin and Binny Bansal who are not related to each other.
I always have this confusion about this Bansal brothers, because they whenever there is a news about Flipkart, it's about Bansals, right? That way. Anyway, so you mentioned that there are a lot of engineers who have changed their career when they were able to. So what kind of change happens? Like what kind of people do you see come in to your platform, and then why do they come in? Like why what change are they looking for, which actually takes them there? So what is the
So you want to take it?
Yeah. So thing is that like we have had like people coming from various skill sets, right? Like some of them are really beginners, some of them kind of I would say anywhere between intermediate to advanced. One common thread across all of them is actually the drive. People who come to our platform with a strong need and drive, they actually go out with like flying colors.
Okay.
And in terms of like, I can give you a couple of stories as well, right? Like there's this one guy who's actually from a tier 2, tier 3 college, right, from Tamil Nadu. Is probably in terms of the career opportunities that he would have had in his college, I would say whatever after he has gone through our cryo platform, he's got probably about 3 to 4x of what he could have otherwise done. Right, that's a first job, and it's not just that first 3x or 4x of what he could have got. Right, the career trajectory itself takes a very very different turn. Right, suddenly you join a great product company, which means that your next jump is also going to be in multiples of that.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So suddenly when you are kind of like you have done 12th class in some with some interest, maybe you missed out, whatever reason, right? You joined a college that is not what you really wanted.
Correct.
Or maybe you could have got better, right? I mean, and then there, if you still do put a lot of effort in there, right? You kind of learn. There's like plenty of resources online as well. You skill yourself, then the results can still be very very outstanding. Like
Okay.
it was a very very solid success story, right? That's like in terms of students, right? In terms of working professionals, it's kind of again slightly different, where you have got into some college because of which you got into some first job, maybe your
Right.
communication was okay or your confidence was okay. Now from there, not everybody gets the best opportunities in their work either, right? You
Correct.
join some company, the work that you do there is what the company can actually provide you. It's not like suddenly you can go out and build something very very great that the company is not doing, right? They give you projects that they have taken up, which means like after 2-3 years you are kind of at that level only, though
Right.
you have a very big dream, you can actually never get there.
Yeah.
There I believe cryo was again very transformational. The moment they have that urge, like okay, hey, I want to do something big and my current job doesn't let me do that, right? They've taken cryo courses, and then right now they're sitting like joining a product company that's like very fast growing, salary like 2 to 3x already. But then I'm not even like highlighting that part of the career,
Correct. Correct.
but beyond
No,
which
but
what they can do.
that part is very important, because a lot of people ask me in comments that I am from a tier 2 or a tier 3 college. I don't have the kind of engineering experience that I need. And how am I going to get a better job? How am I going to get a better salary? These questions are already there on my channel in the comments. So what you are saying is so important for the audience, that if you go through this experiential learning, then automatically it changes it can transform your career from what it is to what it can be tomorrow. Like the ultimate goal of most software engineers is to join some good product company where they can actually build some real world products, and that cannot happen when you are either you are feeling that okay, you don't have the exact credentials, or maybe during the interview you are not able to show it, that
Right.
look, I have done, I know, but I'm not able to show it. Okay, so from there actually, Ratina, I want to see what questions the audience has.
Sure.
But before that, what I want to do is I want to do you have any offers for anybody who is watching this video now or when it is on our channel? So any offers for the people who are coming to this channel?
Yes, Amit. I think so. We are as a token of gratitude, right, to our audience. We just really want to give out something which is meaningful, right? I think we'll share the details in the descriptions.
Correct.
I think there are two great piece of content, right? One is about free guide to product development.
Right.
is a free guide to write a great resume, which is very, very critical, right? When you're looking for great opportunities, right? Along with these two things, we would also offer 15% discount on our paid programs.
Correct.
There will be a coupon. I think if people just unlock using the link we provide in the description, they get to consume this content for free, and if they can actually explore the free programs available in Cryo, and when they're keen to go for a paid programs, they can also use this discount coupon to avail 15% discount, right? So I would highly encourage people to just try it out, check out the offerings, and if you're keen, we'll be happy to have you on board part of the journey. Yeah.
Okay. So anybody who is in the audience who's thinking that, okay, I want to change my experience, okay, we will have these free things available in the description, as well as the coupon for a 15% discount on all the programs which are there on Cryo, specific programs which are there on Cryo. I will link everything in the description so that you can use that link and go and get the discount, or you can access whatever free material is available. So I will have everything in the description.
I'll just like add one more point.
Sure.
So just like as you go through our site, there's something called Bytes and free micro experiences. One thing I would suggest everybody is to actually play around with them. Both of them are actually free as well. There are lots of things that you could actually learn hands-on by actually going through some of these Bytes and free micro experiences. So feel free to check them out. It's going to be definitely helpful for you to learn something new.
But what I will do is that there will be comments on my channel. Whenever the comments come in, this whatever link, whether I upload this recording to my YouTube channel, or whether there is any other way that we distribute this particular video, wherever the comments are, I would like you to also monitor the comment and come in and reply to those comments, so that the audience gets whatever they need from the chat. I think this was a really good interview. This is my first live interview, and we ran into some technical issues as usual. Two people not talking to each other correctly. Okay, it happens because one is in US and one is in China, and we know the relations there. But whatever happens, this particular video is currently recorded. It will go live very soon, maybe today by evening, and then from there we will take it forward. Okay. Thank you very much, Rathina. Thank you very much, Sridhar, for coming on my channel and giving this interview.
Great. Awesome. Nice. Thanks for the opportunity, Amit.
Yes.
All the best for the audience. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. See you. Yeah.